Hey everyone, it's me, Gretchen Rubin, coming to you live from my apartment in New York City, and I am here for the Coping with COVID-19 conversations. I'm the co-host of the Happier with Gretchen Rubin podcast, and in a second I'm going to be joined by my co-host, my sister Elizabeth Kraft. But in the meantime, tell us, where are you watching from? We'd love to know that. And what are you hoping to get done today? We want to hear what everybody's got going and talk about hacks and solutions. And now I'm going to add Elizabeth. Here we go. Let's see. Elizabeth. I don't see her yet. So tell me where you're watching from and what you're hoping to get done today. There we go. Here she comes with a hat.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
I am good. How are you?
I'm great. So I was asking everybody what's one thing they hope to get done today. We're hoping to do our family meditation. We didn't do it yesterday, but today we're determined to do our family meditation. How about you?
I am hoping to get my desk cleaned off.
Okay, good.
And I've been working on it this morning, so I'd say I'm about 70% of the way there.
Let's see what people are saying. Oh, prepare for my virtual job interview. Oh, well, good luck. That's a huge thing to get done. Oh, someone's watching from Ireland. Catch up on my workload.
Yes.
Oh, so it sounds like a lot of people are working. That's great. It's, of course, we all feel so fortunate if we can work remotely. But it is a challenge, especially if you go for a walk and do a load of laundry. Those are two great things to do.
Someone else wants to do meditation and clean their balcony. That's a good thing to do because your balcony is where you can get some fresh air.
Yeah, get some sunshine. Make my aunt a birthday card. That's a great idea because in this age of physical distancing, we can still keep in social touch, and sending a card to somebody is great. It's always fun to get something in the mail, no matter how old you are. Cosmic Kids. Somebody was mentioning Cosmic Kids or Cosmic Kids Yoga. I'm doing a blog post of resources for getting kids to exercise, and that's something that somebody else had mentioned. So that seems like it's a good resource people are using.
Somebody's doing a fridge inventory and then coming up with recipes for what they've got. That's smart because it's like we all have kind of got a fridge full of food, and you want to make sure you use up the stuff that goes bad first.
Okay, but there is a website, and I wrote it down because Eliza told me to it, and I can't think of the name, but I bet a listener knows, a viewer knows. It's a recipe. It's a site where you enter in your ingredients, and it will tell you what you can make from it. So you could say, I have cream, eggs, scallions, and garlic, or whatever, and I think it's called something like Smart Cook or Cook Smart.
Oh, that's
I don't know.
fun.
Maybe somebody knows because I think it's that's a great hack to know about it.
Someone said the superfood app is good.
Okay. I think there's a lot of ways to do that, but it's like if you have a strange combination of ingredients and we have a weird superfluity of rice wine vinegar. I'm like, we got to do something to use with this rice vinegar. I don't know if we ended up with it. So I could enter that in there. Yeah. Let you search recipes by ingredients. The Yummy app. I think there are a lot of apps for it. Oh, who's making face masks for workers?
That's
Gold
great.
Star. That is amazing. Yes, that's great. I just saw, I know Stacey Bendit a little bit. I knew her years ago. She's the head of Alice and Olivia. And I saw that they've put out a call for trying to get medical fabric or whatever, because they're going to make gowns and masks. So and I know people are making masks. That's amazing. So
I saw Christian Siriano also wants to make masks. So I think a lot of people want to help. One thing, Gretchen, on the mask front is some people have masks in their sort of emergency kits, like their earthquake kits and stuff. Some people have found a lot of masks that they're then donating. So that's a tip.
Well, see, that's interesting because that's a very California thing.
Very California.
Yeah, New York City, we don't have those kind of go kits the way you got. I know Sarah, your writing partner, is like very stocked up on that stuff. Well, that's great. I mean, it sounds like every single, if anybody can dig a ventilator out from under their bed, that's, that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Way to go, mask makers. Yes. Well, everybody. And to all
here's someone in Minnesota.
Workers, healthcare workers, delivery people. I mean, there's just, I feel like we all feel so much gratitude toward the people who who are doing the work. Now, Elizabeth, you had a cool idea that I thought was a hack that other people might get a kick out of or try for themselves. So explain like what you're doing with some friends.
Yes, we are all about giving you tips and ways to get through this. And just here's something fun I'm doing with some friends, which is picking a quote of the day. So this is not an inspirational quote. This is sort of what's the funniest thing or most apt thing or bizarre thing somebody says. In our case, it's in a text chain, but maybe it's in, however you're communicating with people, or maybe you do this just within your family.
Yeah.
And then I'm keeping a master list of quotes. And then the idea is at the end of this, we'll have a T-shirt made with all the different quotes.
Oh, I did this with a group in college, and we made a poster of them, and they just bring back all these memories.
Yes.
So
one funny one, Gretchen,
Can you think of an example?
Yeah, here's an example, which is right when we went down. So it was like, school had just been canceled. Everyone was reeling in shock, this whole thing. Adam said, because we have, parent mindfulness every Tuesday. He said to me, is mindfulness canceled? And it's like, yeah, mindfulness is canceled. There's no mindfulness right now. The school is shut down. Yeah. So everyone thought that was just hilarious.
That's good. But this is a good example of, like, we talked in our bonus episode of the Happier podcast about keeping a journal. And one of the things we said is, like, you might want to keep a regular journal, which I'm sort of doing that. I'm like typing it up and keeping a journal, but then there are other ways to keep journals. And so this is a way also to kind of memorialize. And I think it also helps you keep an eye out for like those moments of funniness or absurdity or sweetness that are kind of levity inducing moments, kind of to help you manage your mood. And it is a group thing, and it's sort of a group project. And I think there's a lot of things that would be fun. If you love quotation, I can't resist mentioning, because I love all kinds of quotations. I have a thing called the Moment of Happiness, where I send out like an official quotation, like by Thoreau, not my husband, about happiness or good habits. And so if you want that, it's at gretchenrubin.com/resources. You can sign up for it, because I know a lot of people do like to have a quotation to kind of start the day. I love that kind of thing, but I love what you're doing too. I want to do
Here's a really interesting journaling thing. Someone's taking a picture of the front page of the newspaper every day.
Ooh, so many people have great journaling apps. I need to tell this to my husband, because he's keeping notes on his phone. But I think probably a great app
someone
can make it
made
easier.
Their spare bedroom into a meditation/yoga room. A lot of people are turning bedrooms into classrooms. I don't know if you're aware of that.
Yes.
One thing Sarah, my writing partner, did is she made our office into, now it's her office / Violet's classroom, and she has a desk, and it's very cute.
Well, that's a great idea. Yeah, I think I would be curious to know how many people or have repurposed a space. Like, just put a thumbs up if you've repurposed a space in your house. Like, you put both kids in one bedroom to free up a room for like a playroom or classroom, or you've taken a walk-in closet and made it into a meditation room, or you've had, like, you never had a need for you and your spouse never both worked at home at the same time. Right. So you just had one office, and now you sort of had to figure out how to divide up the space. It's interesting too, like, I work at home, but I do silent work, and my husband needs to be on the phone all the time. Yeah. And it's interesting, like, I could not share a room with him because he's just talking all the time. And it's just a different nature of our work. And so that's a different kind of problem from like you and Adam, where you're both pretty like do writerly work.
Yeah. Someone said they turned their scrapbook room into their son's college classroom.
Well, that's a great idea. This is interesting. There's a lot of people who have cool ideas. Turning the downstairs into a quarantine unit in case anyone in the community needs it. Wow, that's cool.
That's nice.
A space for exercise. I think that's great. I moved my computer to the kitchen to make myself more available for my daughter. Well, that's interesting, because I think a lot of people are moving themselves out of the kitchen to try to make themselves less available.
Yes.
So you get a gold star for that.
Yes. Some people are using their dining room as a classroom. I think that's common.
or workout rooms seems to be another thing that people are haven't repurposed much, but I'm grateful for a coffee table that easily moves for yoga and workout space. Yeah, that's a great, like if you can kind of temporarily do it. Dining room, classroom for my college daughter and high school daughter. See, that's interesting because my younger daughter is still in spring break. So and my college daughter just started yesterday. So we're only now entering into the zone of both children having, and we don't even really know for Eleanor what her day is gonna look like, or you know when is she gonna be online and what is she doing in terms of homework. So this is interesting.
Someone, Gretchen, this is funny. Their husband rented a pinball machine and turned the garage into a man cave.
Oh, well, you know, we grew up, our father had a pinball machine for years. Oh my gosh.
I love those machines.
Oh, just the sound of a pinball machine would make me happy.
Spy Hunter and Liberty Bell were the names.
Gosh, you've got a good memory. You have a way better memory than I do. That's why it's nice that you're my sister. Small space, but my fiance and I repurposed our living space to double as a workout area. So again, it's like, I think part of it is that you have to figure out what are the priorities for you and like how to make space for that. So that you feel like, you know, you can be comfortable doing the things that you need to do from home when all of your usual habits are disrupted. Yeah, thank goodness for screen porches and nice weather. Yeah, the nice weather is coming, and that is great. Yeah.
I once, because we have a pool, but it's been too cold. But once we could have Jack use the pool, that's going to make a huge difference.
Yeah.
We're lucky, of course, very lucky.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting here in New York City, like, you know, the like gorgeous Central Park. It's so big that you can walk there and still be very, very quite far away from other people. So you feel like you're getting all the beauty of nature, and there's trees, and there's like even like streams. I think people would be surprised like how natural it looks. Though if you look in the distance, you can still see the buildings. But there is a lot of, if you can put yourself in places where it feels very natural, and you get your face full of green. Someone else says, I use a different room every day. Oh, that's interesting. It's, I think, trying to like maybe fight claustrophobia by using different parts of your room.
Yes.
It'll be, I want to be joyful and tolerant. That is a great, that's a great thing.
Yes. I really am trying not to be crabby. You know.
Yes.
It will help.
And I'm trying not to be, nudgy. Like if I don't need to wake up my daughter, then I just let her sleep. Or if I don't need to remind her to walk Barnaby because I know she'll do it like either now or in a half an hour, I don't remind her. I'm just trying to like stay out of people's way as much as possible.
Well, it's interesting because Jack said to me that I was like, he's like, I've got this schoolwork under control. Stop asking me questions. So it's like, okay. I'm like, it's just, I don't understand it. So I think he doesn't understand it, but he does. So good.
Yeah. I think that kind of chivying, it can be easy to do it without realizing it. And it just kind of makes other people annoyed. So if you're just joining us, I'm Gretchen Rubin, and this with Elizabeth Kraft.
Yes.
We're sisters. We're the co-hosts of the Happier with Gretchen Rubin podcast, and this is the Coping with COVID-19 Conversations. And right now we're talking, what are we talking about? We're talking about repurposing your space to accommodate all these things. We're talking about keeping a quote, like a funny quote, to be a way to mark the time. And we should mention also, Elizabeth, our book. I have my book.
Yes, and guess what? I have my book.
Oh yes, good.
For our Coping with COVID-19 book club.
Yes. So it's Love, Loss, and What I Wore by Eileen Beckerman, if you want to read along. If you're looking for a book and it says anything about Nora and Delia Ephron, do not buy that. That is the play based on this book. We're talking about the book. It is a super quick read. But it's very unusual, and we were thinking that it might be a good model. Back to the idea of journal. It's a way to memorialize events, and a way to mark time in an unusual way. Hey, so we thought it might be interesting for people. Yeah.
Mom just said hi, Gretch. She just flashed a
Oh,
thumbs up. Hi,
oh,
Mom.
good. Hey, yay,
Karen
great. And gold
Winfrey
star.
Craft.
Yes, gold star because you figured out how to do this, so that is great. Has anybody already read this? Because if you have this book, it's quite short. It's quite short.
Someone says they've started it, and other people are saying that they ordered it.
Okay. Oh, good. Yeah, it is. It is a very, which I think for some people, if you're trying to get yourself back into the habit of reading, maybe staying off the news, getting back into the habit of doing something more kind of cognitively challenging, but ultimately very, very satisfying, like reading, this is a good way to kind of get yourself back into that. I'm going to sit down and open a book and read. It's a kind of a good starter book.
Yeah, Gretch, I think I mentioned I've been having trouble concentrating. So on my to-do list today is to read for at least half an hour. So hopefully once I start, I'll keep going, but I want to read at least half an hour.
Yeah. No, and once you get started, I think it's easy to get into it. I just started reading the novel, The Dearly Beloved. Kara, I can't remember her last name. Anyway, a friend gave it to me, and I'm just loving it. It's very Laurie Colwin-ish, if you love Laurie Colwin the way I love Laurie Colwin. And I'm like, oh, I love being in this different milieu. It's such a break. You realize like what a relief it can be. So we're going to talk about the book on April 1st.
Yes.
It is available in we thought it was not available in audio, but then some people said it is available in audio. When we pick books in the future, we will make sure they are available in audio. Yes. We kind of forgot. We were like stunned by like, let's have a virtual book club. And then we didn't do our due diligence, but next time we will be, and I have a couple of ideas, Elizabeth.
Oh,
what
good.
we'll read next. So I will pass those by you. Now let's do the accountability check-in because for people like obligers who might need accountability, and a lot of us want accountability anyway, it's helpful to have accountability. So if there is something that you want to be held accountable for, put it in the comments. Do you want to do yoga? Do you want to wash your hands more? Do you want to repurpose the space? Do you want to cook a healthful recipe? Do you want to, I don't know what you want to do. Put it in the comments. And if you did that thing, give yourself a gold star. Let us see that you're holding yourself accountable and that you came through. Let's see a flood of gold stars.
Yes. Well, we're waiting for the gold stars, Gretchen. I can show you what I've been doing. I'm taping my to-do list into my little diary. Just for fun. Good. And I've crossed everything off. Right 5 pages. I almost wrote 5 pages. So I did well on my accountability list yesterday.
That's great. And then other people keep weighing in, especially for obligers. It is helpful to know that someone's checking. So we want to and somebody's getting a hand clap. Oh, somebody finished the book. That's excellent. I ordered it for my indie bookstore, but then they shut down. Oh, that is sad. Well, yeah. Oh, I read this book from this book club. Loved, wonderful. It's hard to concentrate. I'm an avid reader. It is. I think a lot of people are finding it hard to concentrate. One thing that you might find, I did this, is like either reread a book or do what I do, which is reread a children's book. Because if you're having trouble like reading something for the first time, maybe if you reread a book that you love and that you know well, like maybe Jane Eyre or Pride and Prejudice or Bridget Jones' Diary or something like that, maybe that would help you get back into the habit. Or then there are these masterpieces, really tremendous masterpieces, something like Charlotte's Web or Talk Everlasting, or Little Women, that can kind of get you back into reading and into the habit of reading and like that feeling of getting lost in a book and kind of get you back into that. And then you can start reading books that are more intellectually challenging or that you haven't read before.
Which a lot of people are telling us what they want to be accountable for. A lot of it is exercise related. Someone wants to get up and moving by 8 a.m., which I think is good. I'm trying to I could easily just sleep in, trying not to do that. Other people want to meditate every day. So a lot of wellness accountability. I think people are really focused on wanting to stay like healthy and sane.
Yes. Well, and remember, you can join us in like hashtag walk 20 and 20.
Yes.
You can't, maybe you're not going to walk in the way, maybe you were like in a walking group and there were 6 of you who went walking together, and you're not doing that now. But there are a lot of ways that you could find to walk 20 and 20. And so you could be part of that. If you want to keep a streak, if you go to gretchenrubin.com/resources, there's a sheet there where you can like mark off, because for a lot of people, this idea of don't break the chain is very compelling. Here, we're going to be here Monday through Friday, every day, and we'll give you accountability. So that's something. I think a lot of people are finding YouTube videos and apps that are giving them workouts that they like. There's a lot of great playlists. If you like to dance.
Gretchen, someone's asking, what is 20 and 20? 20 and 20 is our challenge for 2020, which is to walk 20 minutes every day of 2020. But if you're just learning about it now, you can start today. It has been keeping me moving every single day. I'm so glad we had it in place. Yeah.
And the idea is that even if you can't do anything else, the research shows that even like walking for 20 minutes, you get a huge health gain. And there's more research that's saying that even a single kind of session of exercise, even light exercise, boosts immunity. We all want to have our immunity at top function. And so keeping that exercise going is important for our mood, our immune function, our energy. It helps us sleep. I bet how many people are having trouble sleeping, whether they're either having trouble sleeping or like me, they're waking up in the middle of the night. Last night I slept straight through and I was so happy. Like, give me a thumbs up if you are also having trouble with sleeping. Exercise helps with sleeping. And so this is a really great thing to do. To keep, because this is a long challenge. This isn't like a short emergency. This is a long challenge. So we really have to do the things that are going to help keep us energized.
And one thing you can do, Gretchen, is plan to talk to a friend either on a walk outside or on the treadmill. I'm talking to 2 friends today at 3:00. We have it planned. We're going to do like a FaceTime, and I'm planning to do it on the treadmill. And so then I know that's time that I'm going to spend walking.
I love doing that. Because I love to go for a walk with a friend, and being on the phone, it's like, it's pretty much, I have the same sense of connection. And I'm talking to people that I usually don't talk to on the phone. So that's kind of funny. So if you're just joining us, it's Gretchen Rubin and Elizabeth Kraft of the Happier with Gretchen Rubin podcast. And we're talking about coping with COVID-19. And so, I think exercise is something that people are very focused on. I mean, for the people who are lucky enough to be in this stage, we want to recognize that people all over the world are kind of going through the COVID-19 situation in different ways, in different places. So we're talking about what our experience is, where we are right now. And then obviously in other parts of the world, people are in different stages.
And some people don't have the luxury of staying at home. They are those essential workers. So thank you to all of you who are out there on the front lines.
There's so many people who are doing work. I mean, I saw a bus today, like a giant, I think I mentioned this, like these giant city buses only have a few people in them, and it's so great because then the people who are on them feel safer because they have the space and they're not crowded in. So Elizabeth, what about a challenge? Like, we like to give people a little challenge.
Yes. Now, normally we just do a little tiny daily challenge. Yesterday's was try a new hair product, because we all have hair products sitting around that we never use. To begin with that, I used mine. It was this, what is it? Robert Ramos Argan Rescue Serum I used yesterday. I got it at the hairdresser probably 2 years ago and never used it. I think it was nice. This is my hair. Now this is with that, and also I hot ironed it, but I thought it was nice. So tell us, did you try a new hair product and did it work? And were you glad to? Oh, look.
Wait, total side note, somebody says that she's rereading the Chronicles of Narnia. Like, oh my gosh, I'm going to go do that right So you feel, so you tried your hair product. That was great. I'm seeing that a lot of people are giving gold stars for that.
Yes,
wonderful.
Good people. And I liked it. I can't say I loved it, but I liked it enough to keep it and use it again. Let's put it that way.
That's
and I have more to try, many more. But anyway, so we have a little daily challenge, and today's challenge is actually an ongoing challenge. And this comes from our mom, who we know is watching because she waved at us. Mom is cleaning a shelf or a drawer every day, one shelf or one drawer. That's what inspired me to start with my desk, just clean off my desk. And then her thought is 30 days from now, she will have done a lot of organizing and clutter clearing. So today our challenge is clean or / organize one shelf or one drawer. And then if you want to, you can carry it on to be a daily challenge, as I'm going to try to do.
Yeah. Well, of course, as someone who wrote Outer Order, Inner Calm, this is like exactly the kind of thing that appeals to me, because I really do feel that outer order contributes to inner calm. But it strikes me, and I'd be curious to know if other people feel like this, I think there is something about an emergency situation that makes people want to prepare. And I think a lot of times sort of the irrational things that we see people doing come from this kind of instinct that we have to prepare and to nest and to kind of, organize, like get ready. And I think that even if it's kind of irrational to think, well, if I clean out my junk drawer, it's going to help me prepare for COVID-19. Right. It's clearly irrational, but that doesn't mean that it might not be effective. And I think that there is something about getting control over stuff that makes us feel more in control of our lives. It feels productive. It's a way to create an atmosphere of growth because you see things improving and kind of getting more organized. There's more visual order. And I think that especially for people who are feeling anxious, this might be something where that kind of nesting instinct and to kind of get your space under, like I think that would be comforting and reassuring.
I also think
even though it's not. Yeah.
It makes you feel like you're using the time productively. So that at the end, something will have happened. Your space will be more, will be fresher.
Yes. Now, I think the thing is sometimes people are like, oh, but this is so trivial. Like, how can I be cleaning out a drawer when like there's just this catastrophe befalling all of us, like, and who knows where it's going to go. And yet I think we can only control what we can control. Right now, for most of us, just staying home is the way that we can contribute. We're looking for other ways to contribute. It's great. Some people are like making the face mask. That's amazing. Or Elizabeth, I know you were like offering to do errands for a neighbor. I mean, there's things that we can do, but there's a limit. And then of course the essential workers are doing amazing work, whether it's, that goes without saying. But for many of us, we just need to stay home and do our part. And so it can feel trivial, and yet it's comforting.
Someone says this was a great way to put it, silencing the visual noise.
Yes.
I love that.
Exactly.
Expression.
Yes. Because I'm sure we all feel like there's this cacophony of noise in our head from the news. Yeah. How many people, I think we asked this yesterday, but I would still be curious, how many people continue to try to limit their news, to take their news consumption down, like really minimize their news consumption? I feel like that's something many people have mentioned to me, that they're now like, they want to be civically educated and engaged, but they're not, they're really disciplining themselves not to get into the endless scroll. Because it just
thumbs
starts
thumbs up. Lots of thumbs up. And just some other cleaning things people have said is someone's tackling their medicine cabinets, which is a good idea. And there's always so much expired stuff in your medicine cabinet, or there is for me. And also someone suggested tackling your bookshelf one shelf at a time, one shelf a day, because bookshelves get so crazily out of control. So I love that. Idea.
But I think I can't even begin my bookshelf, but that is a good thing. I have this one area that I haven't alphabetized yet that I should do. And I think sometimes it's just doing something. It's just reminding yourself, I can do something. I'm not just going, something's going to happen that's for the better. this is a place where I think sometimes like thinking about your future self could be helpful. Like when I look back on this, what will I wish I had done? And things like exercising are really helpful in general and particularly helpful right now. And I think also kind of creating that visual order is really helpful. Especially, it might also be a place where if you're concerned about your work life, I mean, I think that's such a pressing concern for so many people, and in so many different ways, people are worried about kind of what's going to happen in the future with work. One thing is to maybe you want to clean out your files, or like you have boxes from when you switched jobs and you haven't gone through those boxes, or like you need to update. Like I remember, Elizabeth, a while back you were saying how you had to update final draft on your like, are there little things you could be doing in your work life to kind of, you know, you're like, let me clean things out, let me get things up to date, let me get things kind of polished off, and like, you know, update my resume and all that. Clear out that kind of clutter too. And that might, then you're just setting yourself up for the future in a useful way, because you know, anything you can do now to make the future easier is obviously a great investment of time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So reminder, we will be discussing Love, Loss, and What I Wore on April 1st. Somebody pointed out that the problem with reading it in audio is you don't see the illustrations, because it does have illustrations. Like I said, we sort of picked it because it's a very particular kind of book, but next time we'll think about picking a book that's not that particular kind of book. The challenge is clean one drawer or one shelf. Often when you start, it's easier to keep going too, I find. Do you find that, Elizabeth, or once you've cleaned one thing, you're like, okay, I've done it for today?
I'm pretty much the one. Yeah, I have more of a hard time finishing the one. So I don't think I'll be moving on, but I think one maybe I can get done.
Right, one you can get done. Yes, and tomorrow we're going to be doing this at a different time. It's going to be 5:15 Eastern time, which is 2:15 Pacific time. And hopefully after that, we'll be able to do it at 4 o'clock almost every day, but we're still dealing with kind of when schedules were different. Now we have our schedules are so much more open, Elizabeth.
I know, my gosh.
Yes. So we will be back at 5:15 tomorrow. Think about whatever you want to be accountable for. We're going to come back tomorrow. We're going to ask you to check in.
Yes. Be ready to give yourself a gold star.
Yes, a gold star for having done whatever you were going to do. Okay. So until tomorrow, let's keep our hands clean and our minds clear.
Bye.
It didn't turn off. Did it turn off?
No.
Huh. Oh, it thinks I paused it. Okay, everybody, tell me what to do. What? Say that again? I was trying to do. Every day we have. Okay. There I go.